Crypto. For the past 2 years, I've had friends come to me for advice on cryptocurrencies. What is crypto? Is Bitcoin safe? How can I invest? Is it illegal? What are altcoins? What altcoins should I invest in? What's all this about going to the moon? To try and explain it to them, I would always send them a couple of videos to get started, but they would always come back to me even more confused. To be fair, the vast majority of people just want to know how they can make money from crypto. They don't care about the intricacies of the blockchain, the differences between layer 1 and layer 2 solutions. Quite rightly, they want to cut through the bullshit, learn what little bit they need to know to throw a bit of money into the pot to avoid the FOMO, avoid common pitfalls, and do it all without getting scammed. And so I have put together an everything you need to know cryptocurrency guide for anybody feeling the FOMO with regards to investing in cryptocurrencies. It's the introduction that I wish I had when I was starting in crypto 4 years ago, and it's the video that I want to be able to send to my friends or parents when they ask me about cryptocurrencies in general. You do not need any prior knowledge in investing or crypto to watch this series, and by the end you will be completely up to date with everything you know to have a little bit of fun with investing in cryptocurrencies. And it's very, very important that you watch this all the way to the end of the video, because I'm going to be sharing with you some things that you absolutely need to know before you invest a single cent. Needless to say, this video is for information purposes only and should absolutely not be used as financial advice in the slightest. This is video 1 of a multi-part series that will be covering everything you need to know about cryptocurrency. Let's start with the why, what, how, and where. I'm going to estimate that 92% of you don't care about the why and want me to cut straight to how I can make money from this. But when you are investing, it is extremely important that you know what you are investing in. So here's a very brief history of cryptocurrencies. Back in 2008, this anonymous figure called Satoshi Nakamoto published a paper which proposed a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. What the hell is that? Well, it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin, along with other cryptocurrencies, is built on this thing called the blockchain, which is effectively a network connecting the whole crypto ecosystem. All you need to know for the purposes of this video and this series is that the blockchain is very new, very, very useful, very, very, very secure, and that it will inevitably spread across all aspects of our everyday lives as the internet has done over the past 20-25 years. All cryptocurrencies are built upon the blockchain, each serving a different purpose in contributing to its widespread adoption in various sectors and applications. Why should you care? Well, in terms of investments, crypto as a market has been the best performing asset class over the past 10 years. What's an asset class? Well, it's effectively a group of investment vehicles that fall under the same financial characteristics. For example, Bitcoin and Ethereum fall under cryptocurrencies. Then you have others like commodities, which is like gold and silver, and then you have other things like index funds, and you have a bunch of other stuff like bonds and many others. Anyway, all you need to know is that over the past 10 years, crypto has performed the best on average. Why? Because it is new, and its overall market capitalization, i.e. all the money locked up in the class, can multiply very easily. If I gave you 10 euros, it doesn't take a lot of work to build it up to 20 euros. But if I gave you €1,000,000, the work involved in doubling it is much, much greater. Same thing happens with an asset class. In 2016, there was $10 million locked up in cryptocurrencies. Now, 5 years later, there's 2.5 trillion at the time of recording. To show how big that number is, I'm going to put it here. And it's getting harder and harder to multiply the total value, right? It's maturing. Now, the benefit of a mature market is that you don't get these huge fluctuations, but on the flip side, the upside potential isn't as much as it used to be. If at this point you feel a little bummed thinking you've already missed the boat, don't worry, you absolutely haven't. The whole cryptocurrency market is still in its infancy, considering the total value locked up in gold is around 11 trillion and in treasuries 110 trillion. So there's a long way to go for the asset class. Does that mean you are still going to make millions? Not necessarily. If you are careless, you can actually lose an awful lot of money in this market due to its volatility, i.e. how fast it goes up and down. But there are still plenty of gains to be made. Myself, I've made a substantial multiple from my initial investment all the way back in 2018 by following some core principles and other lessons that I have learned and I'm going to share with you as we go. Let's talk about Bitcoin and altcoins. Okay, there are two main classifications of cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, which is in a classification of its own because it's the OG of cryptocurrencies and it has the biggest market capitalization, i.e. the most money is in Bitcoin. And then we have altcoins, which is the second class, which are all other cryptocurrencies that isn't Bitcoin. There are literally thousands of altcoins, and this is where people start to get a little bit confused. So let me explain a simple way to think about altcoins. Behind every altcoin is a company or a group of people working to grow that company or product in the same way that regular companies do, like Apple and Amazon. Each altcoin has a product that solves a specific problem in the blockchain hemisphere. Take Ethereum. Ethereum is the king of altcoins. It's the biggest one by a country mile. It is effectively its own blockchain, and there are thousands of other cryptocurrencies using it as their foundation on which they're building on top of it. Ethereum's token is ETH or ETH, and it's the token associated with that company or product. Like AMZN is associated with Amazon and AAPL is associated with Apple, ETH is associated with Ethereum. More recently, altcoins can be classified, even more depending on the purpose their product serves, like, education or tech or finance, but we won't get into that just yet. So what altcoins are good and what altcoins are bad? That is the million-dollar question, quite literally. It depends on many factors like their fundamentals, value proposition, community, usability, even hype. You want to be investing in the altcoin equivalents of Apple, Google and Facebook, right? The best thing about crypto is that there are a few plays that are really solid performers, and I'll be running through them in a sample portfolio in a little bit. Here's the app that I use to monitor the whole market and all my favorite cryptocurrencies. It's called CoinStats. It's free and it's very user friendly. As you can see, you have all the top cryptocurrencies here, each represented by 3 or 4 letters. You can also discover lots of interesting things about each currency, and you can monitor your own portfolio. So next up, how do you buy these coins? Well, the good news is that it's very easy, much easier than it was before. If you already know how to buy cryptocurrencies on Coinbase, you can skip to this part of the video where I concluded some absolutely must things you need to know before you invest. But for those of you that don't know how to buy cryptocurrencies, let me run through it with you. There are loads of different exchanges, places where you can buy currencies. But for now, we are going to assume that you are only going to purchase the kind of widely adopted cryptocurrencies. And we're going to be talking about buying other cryptocurrencies, the more obscure ones, in a later video. I would recommend that everybody starts with Coinbase. It's very intuitive, it's very difficult to make a mistake, and it has 90% of the coins that you'll be investing in to begin with. If you're feeling adventurous and want to send your cryptocurrency to a wallet outside of Coinbase, please make sure you send it to the correct address. Otherwise, it will be lost forever, really gone forever, never to be found. If you don't understand how and why this is, in this case, don't worry, I'll be covering it in a later video. Okay, let's hop onto Coinbase and get started. You will need a couple of things for signing up. You'll need your passport and I think a proof of address just to make sure you are who you say you are. And once you get past those stages, you're going to be brought to the application itself. Now, if you want to click on the link down below, you can register for Coinbase and you would also get $10 of free Bitcoin if you do click on that link, and that would be nice. Okay, let's buy some Bitcoin. So you have your application here. Now you can see here, this is my portfolio, some of the coins I've invested in there. There's a sneak peek there for you. And if I want to buy, right, simply, I just click on the middle button down below and there's loads of different options there for me. Just click buy and you can buy crypto using your credit card or your cash. Now, let's say I select Bitcoin here, but I want to buy, and there's this Euro wallet coming up here. Now that's the money that you already have in your account. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to select a credit card, right? You can register your credit card on the account, click that, and then you put in any amount you want to, let's say £100. So if you click on preview buy, it will tell you all of the details. It will tell you what price Bitcoin is at, and it would also tell you how much Coinbase is charging for the fee. Now I know this fee may sound outrageous, but in the grand scheme of things, it's very worth doing because Coinbase protect it for you. They do lots of things for you as well as a beginner, so I would recommend doing it through Coinbase, and then all you need to do is just click buy now. Thereafter, once you have it bought, you will see it here on your portfolio list. Okay, now let's say you want to convert something. So I'm going to convert, let's say, Uniswap to Bitcoin, okay? Because I've made some good profits on Uniswap, I want to say, okay, I'm going to put that back into Bitcoin because it's a safe bet. And I want to put 100 euro into Bitcoin here, preview convert, and it tells me everything I need to know again, and it doesn't take a fee. That's one of the real positives of Coinbase. It doesn't cost to swap from currencies to currencies, whereas it does on other exchanges, so that's why it's great. Click convert now and you'll see that update on your system. You can play around with other things in the app as well, but what I'd recommend is just do this for the start, get to know the app. Okay, if you have been following attentively until now, I want to thank you, but if you're going to take one thing from this video, it has to be this. Before you invest in cryptocurrencies, answer these 3 questions. Why am I investing in crypto? What would I like to gain out of crypto? And would it be okay if I lost everything I put into crypto? Now, whenever anybody asks me if they should invest in cryptocurrencies or not, I ask them these questions, particularly the 3rd question. Would they be okay if they lost everything they invested? The reason I say this is because this market is not for the faint-hearted. Yes, there are some insane potential rewards, but that comes with risk and massive losses if handled poorly. Simple as that. If you need the money that you invest in the immediate future, you will make poor and emotional decisions, and you will fall into the trap of realizing short-term losses and not riding the longer-term wave. Emotions tend to run very high in this market, and it's those who have a plan, think logically, and don't react emotionally to market crashes that always come out on top. For the next few videos, I'm going to be expanding on this further and sharing some core principles that I have stuck to and have served me well. Some I have learned, unfortunately, the hard way. I'll be showing you some very cool resources that I use and maybe even my portfolio. If you're lucky enough to be watching this video after I've released part 2 of the series, you can put it up here, but before you do so, please hit the subscribe button below and don't miss out on any of this content. Until the next one, we'll see you later. So long.